16 or 17 here tonight. None of them actually has closed on their first real estate deal yet. One of them, a couple of them are getting really close. But they all definitely are involved in frugality, passive income, aspiring to achieve early financial independence, in real estate investing, index fund investing, stock market investing, a lot of the things that align with your YouTube channel, which is why I thought it would be great to have you on. And side note, in my opinion, these young people are all amazing, and they are inspiring, really, just with the amount of motivation and drive they all have at such a young age. I can't imagine where I would be if I had their same dedication to my future when I was their age. So they are achieving some amazing things, and 5 or 10 years down the road, it's going to be sky's the limit for this group. So Gabe, I sent links out to your YouTube video and some of your specific videos to the group a few days ago. So I think most have probably checked you out a little bit and kind of know the gist. But if you wouldn't mind just taking a few minutes and tell us about you, your journey, what you're doing around money, investing, early financial independence, and just kind of where you're at today.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for having me on. Really appreciate it. I haven't done many of these, so bear with me if I'm terrible. Like where I am right now is I have 2 multifamilies right now. So I got my first one when I was 22, after getting my real estate license when I was 18, because I didn't really want to go to college because I'm not very great at school. I didn't know what to go for, so I didn't want to spend 4 years losing money, not getting paid to go to school for I don't even know what. So I just decided to go another route, and I was working full time. I was doing real estate as well. And then I started learning about like real estate investing and stuff like that. And that led me to getting my first triplex. So I was living extremely frugally, saving everything that I possibly could, because I wanted to make sure that like I was learning about the ideas of like kind of FIRE and financial independence. And I wanted to make sure that I didn't end up having to like get a real job like in the future. Like I knew that if I was getting a couple house hacks, like pretty much if I got 3 house hacks, if I was living frugally, I could pretty much just like do whatever I wanted for the rest of my life. And I knew I could do that in like 3 to 5 years. So that's kind of why I got the first one. So I renovated that one, lived there for like a year, got it with FHA. So it was really cheap money down, like really cheap. It was, I think, a little under 200,000, and I brought like 6,500 to closing because something that I do when I get my deals, like I've only gotten 2, but something I do is I have the seller pay like as much as they can towards my closing costs. So it takes cash that I would physically have to have and just throw that onto the loan, because I'm never going to pay $1 of the loan anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I'd rather have my cash for me so I could get another property with it, because I don't have that much money. So that's something that really helped me there. And then I was able to continue to live frugally. I started my YouTube channel when I was there a couple years after that, because I didn't really know many people who were doing this kind of stuff. And I kind of ran out of people to tell the stuff I was learning to about. And I saw that like you can make a few decisions when you're like in your early 20s. You can either like get a car and a house, or get into debt, or like you can do a few different things, and you're going to be strapped for like the next 20 years trying to dig your way out of it. Or you get a house hack and you avoid debt. You do that like twice, and you're going to have a leg up on everybody with almost zero effort, because you got to live somewhere anyways. Like I don't know. It seemed to make a lot of sense to me. So I lived there for like a year and a half. I got my second triplex, which is where I am now. I renovated 2 units here, 2 4 units. So I spent a long time and a decent amount of money doing that. I did most of the work myself because I couldn't really afford to hire many people. Run an Airbnb out of the other 4 bedrooms. So that's bringing in like $4,000 a month right now. And just for context, the 1 bedroom above it is renting for $1,000 a month. So it's about double what it would be by running Airbnb. So that's kind of my way of hacking it, to So I'll put in a little bit of effort over there, a couple 10 minutes a day to make up that extra income so that I don't have to worry about like working too much. Like it takes some of the stress off. So we're currently been here just coming up on a year. And we're looking for our next place right now because I'm just going to do this one more time. The next place is going to be a little nicer, probably chill there for a while and focus on doing some other things besides real estate investing. So yeah, that's pretty much my story. And I started YouTube a couple of years ago, and this past year it's kind of picked up a lot more. Been getting more into minimalism, and the algorithm seems to like that better. So I've been kind of talking more about that recently and kind of going after that mindset because I think financial independence and minimalism have a lot of similar traits. But yeah, anyway, so it kind of married in with what I was already doing. All right. I have never done something with the chat before, so I am sorry. Let's see.
Oh, that was good. I have a couple follow-up questions, which
Sure.
I think some of the members might have, and then we'll kind of go from there. So, and if you said this and I missed it, I'm sorry, Gabe, but what is your current age and where are you living?
Yeah, I'm 25, just turned 25, and I'm living in New Hampshire. So not a ton going on out here. It's stinking cold.
I didn't even know that New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I spent a winter as a ski bum in Killington, Vermont, and I skied a few places in New Hampshire. It wasn't bad.
I've actually never been skiing.
You haven't? Oh, well.
Yeah, I gotta go out more.
All right. So 25, New Hampshire. And a couple of times you said we. Is there someone else with you, like girlfriend, fiance, or are you just talking about your tenants?
No, yeah, I'm married. I got married right after I got my first property. So yeah, we've been kind of doing it together. And then my brother also got one. I talked him into getting one like a couple months after I got my first one. So he's also gotten a couple over the past. So we've been kind of all helping each other out a little bit. Okay.
And then as far as your day-to-day now currently, do you have a W-2 job, or is the YouTube and the passive income from your two properties, is that enough to pay the bills?
I had a W-2 job until January of last year. I was working as a cleaning company, like an office cleaning company's ops manager. So nothing crazy, wasn't making a lot of money. So it's like, that's why I think it's doable for everybody, because I wasn't making much. And so I was able to leave that. So my kind of idea was when I could build up enough passive income from the rentals that it would cover all my expenses, that's when I would quit. And that's why we're doing the Airbnb, because that's what works. As of right now, because of my YouTube income, and my wife does work, but she doesn't like make much because she just wants to do what she wants to do, which was something that we wanted to have, that capability of not having to work for money. So I don't actually I've never touched any of the rental income. It just goes directly back into saving up for the next house hack. So I am living off my YouTube income right now.
Okay. So I have some more questions. I have a lot of questions about minimalism. I have questions about the YouTube channel and how you create your content, because your videos are really, I think, pretty high quality and interesting videos.
Thanks.
But I'm going to guess that the members are going to ask those same type of questions. So I'm going to hold off on my questions. What we normally do now, Gabe, and let me know if you think this will work for you, is we'll kind of turn it into a Q&A session. Okay. And the members will just type their questions into the chat. And then you can just start at the top and work your way down and answer questions as best you can. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. And then I just want to say this one thing. So what tends to happen is then you're going to be talking for a long time now, because they're going to have a lot of questions and you're just going to be answering them. So if you need a break at any point, if you need to drink some more water, do that, and don't feel like you're on the hot seat. I can chime in again or whatever. So,
okay. I will do my best.
So I'm going to go ahead and look in the chat and see where we're at here. They already got questions going, I think.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So is the first one comparing Airbnb's experience versus rentals, I believe. Um,
I think the first question is, yeah, I think you're right. Yep.
okay. Cool. So Airbnb. First of all, I feel really weird doing this because like you always see people when they're on a podcast or YouTube channel as they're different than you, they're smarter than you. I am like, I'm not that smart. I'm not different. I just happen to do this because I think it's fun. So that's, I don't know. I just feel weird like answering questions. All right. So how would Airbnb? All right. So I've done Airbnb for like a year now. I did it at my other place a little bit when I moved out. The specific reason we got this place was because it's a 4-bedroom and there was 1 bathroom, and it was like 10 grand. We added another bathroom to it so that we could run 4 Airbnb bedrooms out of that, as opposed to like a whole unit. So right now we have 4 different people in there. That way we can charge, it equals out to being like $1,000 a month per room. So that's why we specifically got this house, was so that we could do that and really charge a lot more. And for the rents, if we rented that unit as it is, it'd probably be about $2,000 a month. So it's about double. It hasn't been a ton of headache when you stick with Airbnb. I have gone outside of Airbnb when people ask if they can pay in cash, and it seems like it's cash. It's not bad. You know, it's maybe $500 for like a couple weeks, and you're like, that's pretty sweet. And then you get drug addicts and homeless people. And we like a month or 2 ago, we had somebody in there who, like the police were there getting them out. There was like 30 needles and stuff. So if you go outside of Airbnb, it ends badly usually. But if you stay with it, it's so simple because everybody's got to keep their reviews up, and you've got to keep your reviews up. So you do a good job. Like it was pretty easy overall. And it stayed at like over 90% throughout entire COVID. I started like the month after COVID hit, like I was opening it up and stuff started shutting down. I'm like, oh, are you absolutely kidding me? So it did drop the rates a little bit, but we've stayed pretty full.
All right. I'm going to interrupt because I have a follow-up question to that. So where exactly in New Hampshire are you? And is it a touristy place, or who are your guests? Why are they there?
So we're in Manchester. There's nothing to see here. It's mostly people like traveling nurses. There's a strangely large amount of them. We're way cheaper than it would be if you like go anywhere else where it's like next to a ski hill or something like that. You'd be getting so much more. But we're near an airport, so that's good. So that's why we can have a steady stream of people coming to visit family, coming to travel, or coming to work, or yeah, like weird, like people like who never heard of this job before, and they just come here and they work for a month and then they move on and or work for a week or visit family. So it's they're all like pretty normal people. I've met a lot of cool people through it. So I thought it's been pretty fun. But it's not like a touristy place. Like sometimes you have something like by the ocean, you can just get a whole unit and just like charge insane amount. But I think I have the 3 or 4 of the cheapest rooms in Manchester. So if that tells you anything. How distressed were the properties that you renovated? And have you had any handy experience beforehand? I painted my room once. No, I'm not kidding. That was about it for experience. So a lot of YouTubing, friends who did construction, or my brother, like, hey, I don't know how to put in a ceiling or rip out a kitchen or stuff like that. So we did have to do the first unit that I lived in. There was a hoarder and a smoker living there, some nicotine dripping down the walls. We had to rip out the entire kitchen because there's water damage. We had to rip out the floors in the bathroom and like the toilet because it was like falling in. The dude was storing stuff in his tub. So I don't think he was showering. He was storing stuff in his oven too. It was very strange. Yeah. And there was cockroaches there. It was bad. So yeah, that one I just spent like I was working full time plus starting YouTube maybe, during that whole process. So I was working like 3 jobs, honestly. And like every weekend I was there, I bought like cabinets that were in kind of rough shape on Craigslist for like $300 and sanded them, painted them, got them ready, learned how to install them just by like, well, you probably put them against the wall. Oh, okay. Well, they're up there. It probably needs to be level. Oh, okay. And then like, you just like YouTube some stuff and you figure out how to do it. I had no experience at all. had to buy tools. I didn't have like a screwdriver and stuff. Like it was bad. But now I know how to do a lot of stuff. So it's been cool. This one here, we did a lot of stuff. I put down the flooring in 2 4-bedroom places so far. It's like LVT flooring. And I didn't know how to do that before, but you just kind of figure it out, and it just takes a long time. We painted them, put in new countertops. We did concrete countertops in both units. We had never done that before, but I just kind of figured it out. Me and my brother figured out how to do concrete countertops. Those were really cool. Pretty fun. But yeah, I didn't really know how to do anything. We did hire plumbers and electricians because I don't really want to mess with that. And probably as I go forward, I'll start hiring people to do more stuff, just because it's either not more worth my time or I really don't like it. But yeah, I didn't really have much experience. Checking items, buying your first house hack. I mean, what are important checking items so like, I would say, I don't know, we were looking for something where we could take like an opportunity that other people didn't want. So the first one was the hoarder living there that people didn't want to deal with. We had them, it was part of the contingency was that it was, they would be out before closing. So that was like part of so I didn't have to deal with it too much, but I had to deal with the rehab, and the other 2 units should be rehabbed at some time, but I don't want to do that right now. So that would be one, like something where you can add some form of opportunity. We added an extra bathroom here so that we could make it an Airbnb. So the numbers worked better for me than they would for somebody else. So just trying to look for a problem that other people don't want to deal with. But most importantly for me is just like that the numbers work. You understand the numbers. I've checked houses every day for like the past 5 years, every multifamily that comes up, and you just start to understand the numbers a little bit when you're like, if it's got, 3 bedrooms and you got, 2 units that are 3 bedrooms, then I know I can pay, this price for it. And once you just start to understand that, you can kind of make it work, especially if you're doing FHA your first time. For me, I'm okay with overpaying a little bit, because as long as the numbers work, it doesn't really matter if I pay 50 grand more or less for a house, as long as I'm cash flowing every month. Because I'd rather have a deal than be spitting out money, losing out on money every month. Like if you're losing out on 6 months worth of stuff because you're waiting for the perfect deal, you're better off just buying it and throwing it on the mortgage. In my opinion. What makes Airbnbs different than rentals? I am managing both of them. They're definitely a lot more work. Like it's a part-time job, but it also pays like a part-time job, and you don't like, you have to walk across the street or like, like walk over there. Like it's wicked easy. So I don't know, it's easy. Managing stuff. I'm probably lucky, but I've had to do almost nothing. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a couple of years now, and I've probably spent like 5 hours actually dealing with people. When I have had to find people, it's like there's a huge housing shortage. So you post something and you have like 50 people apply the first day, literally, and then you just stop replying to people after that, and you try to set up as many appointments as you can, and you get them. So it's been pretty easy filling places and actually like managing stuff. And as long as I'm keeping everything really close to me, everything's within 10 minutes in this city, and I'm only looking in this city, I'll probably just keep managing until it's not worth my time, which will probably be a while. But yeah, it's been relatively easy for me so far. All right. How do you balance wanting less minimalism with motivating yourself to make your properties get done? And all right, that's always what has held me back from a lifestyle that is more stoic, losing my edge. Okay. I think like laziness is a strong motivator. My priority is not working till I'm 65. I think that's a horrible existence. So if you have to work a lot now, I think you're a lot more efficient with your time. And when you look at minimalism, you think what is the most important thing to me? when I have kids, I don't want to ever have to say, I have to go to work. I have to do this. I have to do that. Like if I want to be home all the time, I'm going to be home all the time. Doesn't matter. So I will work extremely hard right now to make sure that I have the lifestyle that I want to have. So I do occasionally get burned out. I'm going through that right now where I am feeling a little bit unmotivated, and it comes to everybody, you know? But I think for me, the main thing that's helped me stay motivated, especially with YouTube, has been getting really excited about stuff. So when it was real estate, when I was getting my rentals, in order to stay motivated, I do stuff like this. I listen to tons and tons and tons of podcasts and read the books, and you get excited and go out and see properties. So that would be, you know, one thing. So like you do want less, but you also want what's the absolute most important thing to me. And it's probably financial freedom for a lot of us here. And in order to do that, like rentals aren't a lot of work. Like you'll go to work every single day to pay your bills. But, you know, a lot of people think managing rentals is too hard when it seems like way easier than like actually working. I don't know. How much do I make from YouTube? Do you have any tips for saving money on food? Love food. Other than not eating out. I just ate out, but somebody else paid for it. So it's all good. I don't know if I'm supposed to say how much I make from YouTube, but I'll just say it. So far, this is going to be like the past 3 months have been relatively similar, like 2,500 to $3,000, just from the YouTube AdSense. Before that, I did like maybe 2 months ago, I did a video where I calculated my time that I've spent doing it and how much I actually made. And it was like $2 an hour for the past couple of years. So it's way better now than it used to be. Over the past 6 months, it's probably picked up. Before that, I remember when I broke $1,000 like a while ago. And then it's between 1 and 4K a month. It's never like last month is the first month that I made 1,000 in endorsements. And then this month I'm going to make about 4,000 endorsements. So once you hit a certain level, I know I was shocked. Like, it's like, you want to, sure, I'll do that. So that was pretty cool. So that's how much I make from that. And then I did actually just get a job that I can't really tell you about, but I'm going to be starting working, acting, I don't know, for another YouTube channel. So that's going to be more money. But that just kind of came. I almost had, I don't know, like when you start something, you don't know what opportunities, I'm just rambling. I feel weird. When you start something, you don't know what opportunities are going to come up. Like I started YouTube. I didn't know what was going to come up out of it. And so many opportunities have come up. Like these people offer to give you like an insane amount of money to sponsor a video. And you're like, okay. But like you just did it for the trying to help people. You're just doing something. You don't know how it's going to, what opportunities it's going to bring up in the future. We almost had like 2 years ago when I had like 15,000 subscribers, somebody was contacting me and we did like a thing where we almost had a House Hackers TV show on HGTV. It was me and my brother. It was going to be like Property Brothers, but House Hackers. So like you have random opportunities come up when you put yourself in a position to be lucky by putting in the work and just kind of seeing what happens. And so now somebody else came up to me about a different opportunity and that one is working out. And like, I didn't seek it out. They came to me. So like putting yourself out there and putting in the work and just trying stuff, you never know what's going to happen. Like you could fail at it, but maybe, you know, like I failed at a bunch of stuff, but it ended up helping me in other ways that I didn't even like knew existed. So, saving money on food. I don't know. I almost never go out to eat, like maybe once or twice a month. So that would be one. And then just like, I think Americans waste like 30% of their food or something like that. So one would just be like planning your meals and not throwing out the food that you don't eat. Seems weird, but it's the easiest way. Like make sure you eat everything that you cook. And then I do a lot of rice and pasta and stuff, but I'm not crazy strict about that. I think if you get your food and your housing and your car and like your biggest expenses, then the other ones you could be a little more relaxed on. I'm still pretty frugal about them, but like I don't stress insanely because I have very low other expenses. How were you able to finance your first house hack? I had a job at the time and they just give out loans. It was FHA. So it was, I had my gym membership and maybe like my phone bill and something else. I like had to get 3 lines of credit. So if you don't have those lined up, that'd be something to do. Cause I didn't know you needed that. So I actually had to wait like 6 months to build up 3 lines of credit. for getting the first one, but it was pretty easy. Like I just talked to a lender like a year before I was ready, and he just told me what I needed to do to put myself in that position. And then I just got approved. I don't know. I've actually never met my lender. I bought 2 houses with him. Never met him. Great guy. Amazing. Goodness, there's so many questions. All right. How long did it take you to find your first deal? And what is your cash flow and cash on cash return? So first deal, I don't know, 3-6 months, something like that. We were looking at a lot of properties. I had no idea what I was looking at. But since I was a real estate agent, it kind of helps me. A lot of people ask if you need to be a real estate agent to start investing. Definitely not. But it was helpful to have somebody who knows what they're doing. So I would definitely find an agent who knows about house hacking, knows about rental properties, and not somebody who knows about like residential, because that's useless. So it took me a while, but then once this one, but once you know the numbers so well, when the one that did came up, we just immediately put in an offer right away. And the same thing with this one. I was actually on vacation. My brother came and looked at it. I had never seen it. I put in the offer while I was on vacation for above asking price, and I got it because I knew that because it was 4 bedrooms, because it was 2 4-bedrooms and a 1-bedroom, that the numbers would work. So if you know your numbers, when the right deal does come, you just got to jump all over it, because there's not a lot of deals out there right now. Cash flow, I shoot for about, I don't know. The other one's making about $1,000 a month, and this one's gonna make about $1,500 a month. So that's kind of what I shoot for. That's not including, I don't know. I have a rough number. I'm not very, I don't have spreadsheets or anything. I feel like I'm not the correct type of nerd. But I don't measure everything out exactly. So there is some of that's going to be a little less with CapEx and everything else. But I don't know exactly. That's what I roughly shoot for. If it's going to cash flow that past the mortgage, then I don't know. I run that. Anyways, thank you. I appreciate it. All right. What are your monthly costs of living? Down to the point, how did you get married impact your numbers as well as your lifestyle, minimalism, and frugality? I actually don't budget. I feel like I'm not a good financial coach. I don't budget. I'm starting budgeting again. But I figured out I don't spend money on stuff I don't need to spend money on as a part of minimalism. So I don't need to track it as crazy, because it's not like I never waste money, but I looked through my entire house and there was almost 0 things that I had paid full price for. Half of our furniture was given to us. Half of our clothes have been all my clothes are sponsored. They're all free. I don't spend money on anything, so I don't overly budget. So it's pretty cheap. So I don't know the exact number. I am sorry. How did getting married impact? So I wasn't really minimalist at the time. I was pretty frugal. She was pretty on board, because I was like, hey, if we live frugally, we get a couple of house hacks. You don't have to worry about working. I don't have to worry about working. We'll get to do whatever we want. A couple of years. She's going to quit her job this year. We can just do whatever we want. So it was pretty easy to get her on board. She's not very minimalist. So there has been a bit of a, I'm just good with nothing. But she likes a little bit more stuff and decorations and stuff. So it's been a little bit of a change, but we get along. We have the same common goals, which I think is important, common why we're doing things that we're doing. So it hasn't been too hard, I guess. I don't know. She's pretty easy. Specific goals after the 3rd property. Do I have specific goals after the 3rd property? I have no goals. I want to get, I don't know. Cause I had, I've set longer term goals before, and then 3 months later, they're all 100% different. Things come up that I had no idea were going to happen. Maybe we'll get the next house and I'll love it and I want to stay there forever. Maybe I'll get it and I'll be like, oh, this sucks. I hate the neighbors. Let's move again in a year. So I don't really know. I do want to get the next one. We're trying to get a really nice duplex that we can stay at for a while. Even if it doesn't really make money while we're living there, and we do have to pay a little bit. Both of this one and the last one, we're close to making money while living there, before CapEx. So I don't really have a goal. am enjoying like actually working on YouTube and more creative stuff and just kind of doing what I'm doing. We definitely want to travel. We're going to try to take a couple of months and do some traveling every year. So that would be more of a goal, but like rental property wise, I don't want to have 50. I probably don't want to have more than 5 to 10. Seems like a headache. I am individually Airbnb individual rooms, and it's interesting to say the least, because but like there's nobody there like all the time. It's like a ghost town. People just like crash there and then they go do whatever they're gonna do. So it's pretty easy, and the money's like insane. What is your 5 years goal and why? Don't have one, so I don't know. Probably. I mean, YouTube's probably going to be dead in 5 years. Let's be honest. There's a short life cycle to that. So I'll probably be doing something else. I don't know what yet, but I'm just going to keep doing YouTube, and then some other opportunity will come like I didn't know about, like with this one, and who knows where that's going to lead. So we'll just see. How do you learn to take action with real estate, frugality, minimalism, or making YouTube videos without getting distracted? Man, I've been distracted the whole time. Like I think, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I have an issue with procrastination and stuff. Like try not to, but it happens. I think taking action is, got to really want to do something, and have like your core why down pretty solid. Of like, why are you getting out of bed every day? Like, do you like what you're doing? If you don't like what you're doing every day, what action are you taking that day to like do something else? Cause I have cleaning nights. I clean like Christmas Eve night, and so maybe having a good job that you absolutely hate is really good motivation. Honestly, might help. Cause I was counting down the days, and then I left a week earlier than I said I was going to. But I just really, really, really hated it. So it was good motivation. Like, I'm not going to be doing this next year. I am not going to be doing this next year. And then I wasn't. So that was really cool, because I thought I was going to be doing it for 5 years. And then like 2 years later, I was done. So that was very good. And with minimalism or anything else, like you got to have your why behind it. Cause otherwise, like sometimes people just do it cause it's, I don't know, trendy or something. Just somebody else is doing it. But like, if it's going to flop in a week and be exactly where you were before, if you don't change your mindset. And for me, that was reading an insane amount of books and podcasts and anything I get my hands on. I still read, a couple of books a month. And I think those have been my mentors, and that's where I've learned most of everything that I do know is just books. It's nothing crazy. I don't want to scale my real estate business, so I don't have a plan to. Some people like it. Like, I like real estate. Like, it's not hard, but it doesn't excite me. It's just more for the money, I would say. Like, YouTube excites me. Real estate does not. And it's different for everybody. Like, what's your thing that actually excites you every day? For me, it's not that. Okay. In regards to Airbnb and individual rooms, do I have any issues with guests sharing spaces? I don't think I've ever had an issue. I've had hundreds of people in there. I can't think. I mean, no, nobody was even there when the police came for those people. So, and that was my fault. So I would say no. Everybody's been pretty good because everybody wants to get a good review. So it's pretty easy. That's just my experience. I don't know. All right. FHA for my first house hack. Cleaning rooms, I did them myself because I just walk over there like once a day and I just clean up real quick. When I'm not there, like today I was away with my family. Not away, I was visiting my family. So the upstairs tenant, actually, we just give her like $10 to each time we need her to clean. And she cleans them. She's pretty good. It's easy. I don't have to do it. I don't know if that's really the best idea, but maybe you have a friend who wants to make, $10 an hour for 1 hour for 15 minutes worth of work. So it's like $40 an hour. It works out great for you because you don't have to do it, and works out good for them. That's what I'm doing. I don't know. Favorite books on minimalism or business in general? I think Essentialism was really good. That was more the business aspect of minimalism, or essentialism, similar. I haven't read a ton of minimalist books. I've more ingested it by blogs, by doing it myself, by podcasts, because I haven't found really many good minimalist books. And also, like, if you read books on the FIRE movement and frugality, it all like translates pretty similar. Like the core principles of like when you look at financial independence, like, and frugality, like what's your reason behind, being frugal? Like you're finding your purpose, you're finding the most important things to spend money on, and then you spend money on those things. Maybe it's travel or your family or whatever, or your time, you're spending your time that way. And it's the same thing with minimalism. It all kind of goes along with each other. So I think The One Thing was a really good book. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It was the first book that I started with. There's so many more. I don't know. I listen to stuff on Audible, and when I used to work at night, I would just listen to, 5 hours of a book at a time, or, go for a walk in the afternoon and listen to books. It's just amazing. So I listen to a lot of books. So I can't think of any others right now, but you'll come across them. How can someone get into the minimalist lifestyle? I mean, like, how do you get into it? I don't know. Yeah, you got to want to do it. You got to know why you would do it. For me, I think it was really important to do it because it was a lot less. I have like anxiety and like doing this, and then just in general. So like I get stressed easily. So having a really clean environment was something that helps me a lot. So I think if you're, if like anything else, if you want to actually really get into minimalism, you have to have probably something bad happen to you. Not bad happen to you, but like you have to have a strong motivator. And then you start decluttering, you start looking at obligations. And if you don't want to do it, why are you doing it? Like say no to stuff, and really start to look at your priorities and ask hard questions of like, what are you actually doing each day to get your life where you want it to be? Are you actually, taking action, whether it's getting rid of stuff or getting to a new job? Like just be kind of honest with yourself. I don't know. Oh, goodness. Favorite podcast to listen to other than Bigger Pockets? I haven't. So is this part of Bigger Pockets? Before I answer this, I don't know. I don't think so.
It's not. It's I think pretty much everybody is a member. Well, the free membership of Bigger Pockets.
Okay.
But this is not a Bigger Pockets sanctioned group or anything, no.
Cool. I don't listen to Bigger Pockets. I listened to probably the first 100 episodes when I was getting my first house hack, and it started getting into the point where it's like, I don't know, it's like people doing 100 deals, and I don't want to do that. And I don't know, it's very unrelatable. So I stopped. And same thing with like, I don't know if you guys listen to Choose FI, which is a financial independence podcast. They're like the Bigger Pockets of financial independence. Like they're the name brand, if that makes sense. And I stopped listening to them after like the first 50 or 100 or something, because it was just like, I don't know, a lot of podcasts are like, they're like just people like me. I went on a podcast and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm one of these people that I don't like to listen to, where it's like you tell your story and then you give your 5 recommendations and then you get off. And I don't think it's like, some of it's good, but then once you get the idea, you're like, all right, you can make it 100,000 different ways. Like start actually doing something. So when I need to get motivated or something, I'll dive into some podcasts, but otherwise, like once you've listened to 50 of them, you've listened to all of them. Let's be honest. So like at some point you need to actually start doing something, talking with people and, going out there and doing something. So, I listen to my main podcast right now. It's Stuff You Should Know. I absolutely love that. They've had like, I don't know how many episodes, like probably 1,000. I've listened to every single one of them. just because that's how like I learn things in general. So it has nothing to do with finances. But that's what I listen to mostly when I listen to stuff because they're funny. Are there any aspects of minimalism that is hard for you to overcome, adapt to? Like, what was your biggest roadblock for you, if any? You should write a minimalist book and fill the gap. I started a blog, like I started a podcast too. I just fail at everything. With my brother, it was like, I think it was like FI Brothers or something like that. Cause like there was nobody young talking about financial independence. Like, cause we stopped listening to all the podcasts. We were like, these are all horrible. So we like kind of made our own. We're like sharing our story because I thought it was better. And then we ran out of stuff to say. And then we were just like making up stuff. I'm like, now we're doing what everybody else is doing. So we stopped. And then we started a blog at the same time. We both discovered that we suck at writing and it's not fun. So I don't want to write a book, and I don't think I should. I don't feel right giving advice to anybody. As a 25-year-old, I should probably wait till I'm over 30. So I try to do like just sharing my story without giving much advice because I haven't done a ton of stuff yet. Roadblocks. Like the first couple times I did it, I would say like decluttering in general. I wasn't like, I didn't have my why in place, I guess. So you declutter a bunch of stuff. You still have your buying habits. You still don't have places for everything. So your house always still looks trashed because like your keys don't have a place. Everything doesn't have a place yet. And you just have too much stuff. Like we're in like really small places. So that would be it. Like I went through like the beginning phases over and over and over again until I was like, all right, done with this. We're getting rid of everything. We're taking like time. We're ripping the house apart, getting rid of everything we don't actually need and use and really enjoy. And then sticking with it and finding places for everything. And that takes a lot of time. It's annoying. It's frustrating. But then like your house is always clean. People come over. You don't feel bad. You don't have to like clean up. You're like, I'll put the blanket back on the couch. Like, I guess that's about it. Cause I was like, it was really nice afterwards, but it just takes a really like, and you don't expect it to be quick. Like with all this stuff, it's like, probably going to take a year to get your house where you want it to be, but you just continually work at it every week and it'll eventually get there. You don't expect it to be like minimalist next week. My house is perfect. That was easy. Like, it's not like that. You start to get a house hack. Like, I don't know. It's not as easy and quick as people make it seem. It's like a lot of hard work and frustration for years, but then eventually you'll look back and you're like, well, somehow I now have a couple rental properties. And because I continued to do one thing every single day, that got me closer to, my main goals or whatever. So anyways, where have I traveled? And are you frugal when you travel? I have not traveled much. I'm going to be traveling a lot more soon, actually. I went to Belize once for like a week, Canada, Rhode Island, stuff like that, but like not really too far. Yes, I do credit card hacking, so I don't really pay for flights. I don't know. Do you guys know what that is? Like credit card turning? Something like that. Anyways, I do that. So I don't generally pay for flights. So that's my main way. And then I stay at Airbnbs for the most part, which is pretty cheap. So I like generally responsible with it. Yeah. So credit card turning is, all right. So me and my wife are about to go to Mexico for 10 days in a couple weeks. She signed up for the Chase Sapphire Preferred card, got 80,000 point bonus. It is exactly 80,000 points for both of us to go round trip to Mexico. We're going to Mexico for free. So I just do that whenever I need to go somewhere. I have like a couple 100,000 points that I don't know how to use yet. Whenever we do need to go somewhere getting low, we're like, okay, I'll open a card. She'll open a card. And we refer each other, all that type of stuff. You do it with your friends. My brother does it. Nobody pays for flights anymore. So it's pretty easy. As long as you're like, know what you're doing, you're actually paying them off. Obviously, if you're racking up debt, that doesn't make any sense. But if you pay them off all the time and, you don't have to keep them open forever, it's like this whole thing. But if you look into that, just do some Googling, you can find out pretty easily how to not pay for travel. And then when I do go out, we try, I don't know, like you also get sick of going out to eat too often because we never go out to eat. So sometimes we'll also like go to a grocery store and like get food and make it. Cause like I like don't like to eat junk. Like I eat pretty good. So I'm not probably not many people like go out to a grocery store and buy food to make themselves like normal food that they're used to. But that's something that I like to do. So it's a little bit cheaper. And then also try to go to places that are cheaper than where I am. So like if you go to Belize, you can get like, or Mexico or whatever, it's going to be the third of the price here. So you're like literally saving money to go on vacation. So that's pretty cool. And then I'd eventually we might try to stay. I don't know. It depends. If my wife leaves her job, we might actually try to stay in Mexico for like 3 months, and we would literally be saving money than if we were living here because it's so much cheaper there. Like not at a resort, but you know, you probably could. I don't know. If you can make a little bit of money online, you can just move somewhere cheaper and do geo arbitrage. What would I tell my younger self? I should probably think of these questions. I don't know. Don't be stupid. I don't know. Because you never know. Like maybe if I had been more motivated and gotten stuff done sooner, I'd have got hit by a bus because I was traveling somewhere. Like, you don't know. So I always like to look at things in the positive way. Like, yeah, I made a lot of mistakes, but like maybe if I did win the lottery, I'd have died on the way there. Who knows? So I think I definitely did waste a lot of time and stuff and playing video games, which I still do occasionally. But like, you know, I don't know. I'm relatively happy with where my life is. I need to figure stuff out yet. Still, I definitely wasted a lot of money when I was younger. Not a lot, but like some. But like, I don't know. Everybody, like, maybe it's the dumb things that you do that help you in the future. You don't know, you know. Maybe because I wasted, you know, a couple $1,000s when I was in my late teens, it saved me hundreds of thousands in the future because I learned that I don't want to have no money and be broke. You know, I don't know. What other asset classes do I invest in? Day in the life. I should do a day in the life video. Those teens tend to do well. Got to follow the algorithm. I don't invest a ton otherwise because I have no money right now. Like I invest, like I have like probably 10 grand in the stock market just to learn about stocks. I don't know. That's pretty much it. Day in the life. I make YouTube videos. I wake up. I think about it. I call that work. I write a little bit. I get frustrated. I can't think of what to do. I try to shoot, doesn't work, shoot again, go through and edit it. It all looks stupid. So I try something else. And yeah, do that mostly like 15 minutes a day, usually at the Airbnb. I try to stop working around 2 or 3. And then I do other stuff generally. With secret shopping? No, I am not familiar with secret shopping. It sounds cool. Or something else, but I'm not sure what that is. I should Google it. If I open up a credit card and put 7,000 on it, how soon should I pay it off? Immediately, within a month? I am not an expert. I do not know. I just put it on auto pay so I don't forget because I forget a lot of things. So I put everything on auto pay that I can because I don't want to forget it. But my credit score, I just checked it. It's like 760 or 780. I don't remember. So it's pretty good. So it doesn't like hurt you to do all this. Like everybody's like, oh, don't do credit card turning. It'll ruin your credit. I'm like, I have never worked on my credit and it's amazing. So credit utilization and all that, you can look into that. What is about YouTube creation that you like so much? Not really good at many things. I think I'm decent at making videos. Like I'm not an artist. I do think I have an artistic mind. Like I'd like to be an artist, but like if you saw me draw, like it's not like the people are like, oh, I'm not that great. Look at this. I'm like, no, it's like a 4-year-old drew it with a crayon, and I was like worked on it for 4 hours. So I can kind of like when you when you have something in your head and you can turn that into like, oh, this would be like, you're just driving down the road. You have this idea. I usually record it on my phone. I'm like, idea for an intro, blah, 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 you know, get hit by a bus. This will be funny. Do this. And then you work on it for like a day and you get like this 30 seconds of intro. That's like amazing. You feel like you created something. And I think that's one of the best feelings in the world when you can get into it. Sometimes it takes a month before I get into that creative flow state. But actually creating something that I like, that I care about, and having something to show for it afterwards, I think it's been one thing. Then the other thing is like, sometimes I just like I'll go to a coffee shop to edit or something and be like, can you imagine what it'd be like to like go to work every day? Like, it's so much better just to make like videos. Like, sure, it sucks sometimes, like, cause it's like the hardest part is thinking like could be worse. I don't know. So I just love the creativity behind it, I guess, when it comes. It's kind of cool. I don't think my dad thought I could do it. He's still surprised when I'm like, that I still, you know, don't work. But I think half of that's like house hacking. So you got to pay me a fee for that. For what? You can't give me money. I have a Patreon, but don't sign up for it. I might shut it down. Can you walk us through YouTube videos that you would like to create from start to finish? Like a video that I have in mind, or like what my process is?
Your process, like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have my big board over there. I have a bunch of ideas on it. I have to really, really, so I write usually the first hour or something of every day, writing out video ideas, researching, stuff like that. I have to really be passionate about it. I tried to make one last week. I shot the A-roll for it, which is like the main talking point. But I wasn't excited about it. I've been pushing it off for like 6 months, but it's going to perform well whenever I do post it. But it didn't feel like my heart was behind it. So I deleted it. Cause like I have to actually care about something. Like if I just make it just to make it like as work, I think you can definitely tell that it kind of sucks. Or I don't like it, at least. Like there's no humor in it. There's no, you don't really connect to it. It's just like kind of like, oh, top 10 whatevers. And sometimes I have to make those just to fill the space so that I can find things I'm really passionate about. But I think the first one is being passionate about it. So I write it out. I don't do it right. I don't know. I shoot the A-roll for it usually, which is like the main talking point. Usually it's about 20 to 30 minutes of that. I edit it down to about 10 minutes. And then I'm unhappy with about half of it. So I go and reshoot the half of it. Whole process again, 20 minutes for that 5 minutes, edit it down. This is all like 2 days. I do that. I realize that it's uninteresting because just me sitting there talking. So I think of like, I listen to it as I'm editing. I'm like, that would be good. We'll do a slow motion coffee making right there. Or like maybe I'm talking about researching. Well, I'll be walking through the woods, listening to a book, like random stuff to make it visually stimulating. Cause that's what the type of videos that I like to watch is maybe something to watch while you're listening to it pretty much. So like a good visual thing. So I'll shoot all that. I'll go through and edit it again. I'll shoot maybe this time it's about half an hour worth of B-roll. That really has, you know, each clip that you take of like doing whatever, it might take, 20 minutes to shoot it. And then you have 20 minutes of footage and you use probably 15 seconds of all that. So each video that you see is probably, 30 hours worth of work because I'm not very efficient, boiled down into 9 minutes. So I don't know how other people do it. I'm definitely not doing it correctly. It just takes forever. And I'd never picked up a camera before I got my first like YouTube video. It was horrible. If you go back and watch it, I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know what a thumbnail was. It's like the picture that you see. It's very bad. It's all trial and error. So like I'm not naturally good at this. It's just working at it. Like I didn't know how to do any construction before I got the rentals. I never knew how to shoot a video or like what they should be, anything, descriptions. I didn't know any of it. Like how to, what type of cameras were. I didn't know that you could have, you know, like DSLR versus mirrorless, like all this stuff I didn't know. And now I know a little bit more just by doing it, seeing what happens. This is from my failed podcast. Now I have a microphone. So like now, you know, this is how it works. And then I spend about half a day, usually Mondays, shooting a thumbnail because that's something that I procrastinate to do until I have to post it at 3. So then I'm like, I should probably shoot a thumbnail today. What do I do? What do I do? And then I look out a window to the left because those always perform better while holding a white cup of coffee. That's what the algorithm likes. I don't know what to tell you. Credit card churning. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be called, probably. So that's my bad process. But like you don't see, like you see all these YouTube videos, you don't see all the crap that goes in behind the scenes. And you think people have their lives together. Like they're just like you. They're just like me. I always feel bad because I'm like, how do these other people doing it? They must, I don't know. I'm probably doing it wrong. What piece of advice do you have for us people trying to figure out our life goals and all the in between? I don't know. I feel so bad doing this. I mean, I think it's trying stuff, I guess. I didn't know what I was passionate about. I didn't know YouTube would be a thing. Like it started off with maybe it was going to be a YouTube channel. I don't know, but like it all started off podcast, blog, and YouTube at the same time. And before that, I've tried probably 5 to 10 different jobs and just realized that I hated them. I was still saving money and everything else, but like just trying things. And then when you find that thing, you're like, oh, I could do this. Like that's not a bad life. Maybe you don't know what that is. Maybe because I failed at, I tried accounting. I was going to be a personal trainer. I've, done concrete. I've done working at like a store, a bunch of different things. Started landscaping businesses and marshmallow shooting thing when I was younger. It's like this whole, like I've done like a multi-level marketing crap. Realized don't do that, guys. Don't get suckered into it. It's not cool. Don't buy courses. I don't know. You just try stuff, but a lot of people, they never they go work at the coffee shop and they never do anything at night. I was working until this year, I was working full-time, 40 something hours a week. I was doing YouTube 30, 40 hours a week. I was still doing the same thing I'm doing now. And doing real estate agent, because you don't need to go to school for that. And you can make decent money, even though I never did. Some people do. And I was doing side projects, like doing construction sometimes during the day, like doing concrete, just to make more money. But some people will just find with one of those jobs and they'll never try all the other ones. That'll end up being the experience that leads them to that thing that they don't know exists yet. So this is probably going to be something that leads to that thing that I don't know exists yet. That's going to happen in a couple years from now when YouTube inevitably crashes and burns. What am I passionate about besides YouTube? I would like to find something else because I have no life. I think travel would be fun. I don't know. I like talking finances. That's fun. I don't art anything. I have a guitar. I don't really play it. So I don't know. I'm passionate about family, I guess. I like hanging out with my friends and my family. We have really good relationships. I think just growth in general is something I'm really passionate about. Personal development of a lot of different ways, whether it's fitness or just continually learn more stuff. Like the more you learn, the more you realize how stupid you are, and how much information there is out there that you don't need to know everything, but it's good to know more than you know, because you don't know, because I read one book, I traced it back. I did a video on it because I read Bigger Pockets Rich Dad Poor Dad, which led me to this book and it led this whole thing, which started me into real estate, started my first rental property. And it all came back from one decision to read a book instead of listen to music one day. So you don't know what that one little itty bitty thing is that 5 years down the road, you're like, your life's 100% different because you decided, like, so that's why I like growth is like, I don't know what learning how to do a handstand is going to do, but maybe sometime, like, you know, like, I don't know what it is, or learning how to do whatever it is. Like, I don't know what it's going to do, but it's probably going to like help if I just like get better at life in general. So I think that's about it. Oh, was that it questions wise?
I think we're to the bottom of the list, Gabe. Thanks. I think you had a lot of great insight. I feel like you maybe thought you didn't for a while, but I think the message here is, at least the one I'm taking away from this is, when you're young and you are still young, 25, it is absolutely okay to just not know, to just, to try things out and to fail like crazy and just kind of let the chips fall where they may. And like you said a couple of times, you don't ever know where one decision is going to lead you down the road. You just, you know, being on this call right here could lead you or someone else connecting with you to a place they never thought they could go before, or their life would be 100% different. So I like the fact that you were honest about, you know, you don't have everything figured out. And I think a lot of people, if they were doing a call like this, would feel like they would need to convey that, yeah, I have everything figured out. I know exactly what's up. But most people don't. Even the most successful people who are much, much older still have a lot of questions, including myself, about what we really should be doing. And I also follow, I definitely related to what you were saying about the podcasts, and that after a while, they do start to get very redundant. Yeah. And I agree with you. When Bigger Pockets, I think I listened to the first couple hundred, and then I stopped because the Bigger Pockets, the main podcast that they have, they definitely started getting into a lot more of the syndications and the big deals, and people trying to say, well, I own 1,000 units and I own 5,000 units. And that's not for everybody. It's not a bad thing, but just last weekend, my wife and I did a goal setting retreat. We have 15 units. We were thinking we wanted to get to 20, but last weekend we decided, no, 15 is good. And we're just going to start paying off mortgages now. If a deal comes across our lap, sure, we'll take it, but we're not actively pursuing buying more properties because we don't want to create another job and have 100 properties or more that we have to always think about. It's not the goal. So I relate to you there for sure. And I do appreciate your insight as into how much work goes into creating one 10-minute quality YouTube video. I mean, I think everyone kind of knows it takes a lot of work, but you don't really know how much work it takes. And I haven't seen your old videos, but I know your recent ones are really good. Like, you definitely have a knack for it. And now you're starting to get paid for it, and that makes sense because they're entertaining and they're quality. And yeah, like you said, you only got into YouTube after several things along the way failed, and then that's where you ended up, and you found a passion, and you're also good at it, and people are willing to pay attention. I think that's the main lesson here. Any last second questions for Gabe before we let him go? A lot of them are saying thank you in the chat there. All right, Gabe, appreciate it. I'll stay in contact with you, man. I'm anxious to see where you're going to be at in a couple of years. And thanks again for taking the time to join us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It was pretty fun. So thanks, guys. It was cool to talk to you guys. Good luck in life.
Thanks, Gabe. We'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
If you like this video and want to see more like it, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You should also go check out our website and Instagram, which are both linked below this video. Thanks again for watching. Now go and get your freak on.